Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be a life update. I took about a month sabbatical of posting and all of that, and then now I'm back. It's just that simple. I'm back. Well, I originally started school. Everything was going great, and I was loving my classes, loving my professors. Everything was going absolutely phenomenal. Like, everything was going wonderful. Like, I could not have asked for a better semester. On September 1st, I applied for nursing school. I was applying to start in January of 2024, and I barely made it. Like, applications were due at noon, I think, and I submitted mine at like 11:30. Like, I barely made it. Anyway, or it was due at 5, and I got it in 30 minutes before the deadline, which there's a video explaining the whole process of my nursing applications, things like that. It's already up on my channel, but I did that, and I posted that video and all of that. Well, I went about my day, went about my life, like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I really didn't think anything of it, really didn't. I knew that whatever happened, like it was up to God. Like, I did the most I could. Hang on one second. Dog's trying to go outside. Like, whatever happened was going to happen. Like, I really have no control over it. I did the most I could. I did my part. I did my half, whatever you want to call it. And like, I submitted my application. And I was like, okay, great. Like, we'll see what it is. And then Labor Day weekend came that weekend. So I applied on a Thursday or a Friday. I think it was a Friday. And the offices were closed and all of that. So like, I didn't even get a confirmation email saying like my application was processed. Like, none of that. I did that, and it kind of set me off because like I didn't get saying it was processed or anything like that. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Please note, I never even got the email saying like when nursing school applications opened and closed. So last semester when I applied, like I got the email saying like, hey, nursing school applications are open. These are the requirements for it, yada yada yada. It closes this date by this time, and everybody should get like their letter saying whether they got accepted or not by this date. I never got that email, so like I was already a little hesitant, I'm not gonna lie. So I went ahead and did it anyway, applied the whole 9 yards. Tuesday after Memorial Day, I get an email, or was it Wednesday? Anyway, it's like 7:30 in the morning. Please note, or 7:38, and our school office is open at 7:30. So, I think. Anyway, it was like a couple minutes after they opened. Anyway, I got it, and I was like, this is weird. And so I opened it, not thinking anything of it. I got an email saying my application will not be processed again. And so I emailed, and I was like, or no, my application had been flagged. I was like, okay, this is weird. What's going on? So I emailed them back. I emailed not only the nursing school department head, but also like I just replied to the email saying my application got flagged. And they were like, in other words, you have a high GPA, but you don't have the highest. I really don't know what my numbers are to tell y'all, but in other words, the way my school works is once you meet the criteria, you're all put in a bowl, and you're put by the span of your GPA. Like, that's all they care about is your GPA. We don't do letters of recommendation. We don't do any of that. Like, it is strictly GPA based. So, like, once you meet the requirements, you're put on a list of your GPA. And so, like, the top 100 get in. Well, if you're 101, whether you've got a requiring GPA to get in or not, you don't get in. Like, if you don't meet the cutoff of those many people, you just don't get in. So I emailed, and they're like, hey, I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, why is mine getting flagged? And they were like, your GPA isn't really where we want it. Like, you meet the requirements, but it's not really there. And I was like, okay, but it's there. Like, what's the point? I was like, what's the point? Like, it's there. Like, I meet the requirement. What is this? Like, what's going on? And I was like, okay, well, I see my application's already been flagged. Like, is there even a chance that I'm going to get in at this point? And they sent back, no. A one-word response of no. So I sent back, thank you so much for your time, and left it at that. So I got rejected from nursing school again because there was too many other people that had a higher GPA than me, and I did not get in. And so I was like, okay, great. So I started crunching numbers, this and that, and I was like, okay, in order for me to do this again, like to apply again, I have to not only finish this semester, but I have to turn around and take next semester of prereqs again. And then I will apply next semester, so I'll apply again in January to start in the fall of next year. So I will have to take another full year of school to apply and hopefully get in to the fall of next year, like to start currently, like this semester. What am I trying to say? To start in the fall semester of 24. And please note, when I originally started, I was on track to graduate in spring of 25. So I would be starting my senior year, just starting the nursing program. And I talked to my fiance, I talked to my father-in-law, I talked to my mom, like I talked to a bunch of people, and I was like, am I crazy for wanting to drop out, withdraw, like all of those things because it's not guaranteed? Like, I could go through this semester plus next semester and still not be guaranteed anything. Like, it's not guaranteed that I'm gonna get in next semester. It's really not. It's not guaranteed that when I apply in January, I'm going to get in. So I was talking to them about it, and I was like, am I crazy for wanting to stop? And some of them said yes, some of them said no. Like, I talked to a bunch of people. And so I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm gonna stop talking to people about it, and I'm going to figure it out for myself. So I started crunching numbers again, this and that. And please note, I don't get, like, school's not paid for me. I pay for it with my own money. Like, it comes out of my pocket. Like, my parents don't help me, my mom doesn't help me pay for it, like the whole 9 yards. My fiance doesn't pay for it. Like, it comes out of my own pocket. And so I was like, you know what? I'm done. In January of this year, so in January of 23, I went through a course or a class, and I was able to get my phlebotomy degree, if I remember correctly. It's a certificate in Mississippi, but it's a degree in Louisiana because you have to take your your boards. So it is technically a degree in Louisiana, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. So I have all of that, and I was like, okay, so I've got a backup plan. I have a degree. Like, I've got something that I can do. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna quit. I'm done. I hate putting in all of this work and spending all of this money for something that's not guaranteed. Like, if I was to continue this semester, it was gonna cost me 12 grand for something that's not guaranteed for one semester. And Southeastern is one of the, like, cheaper schools. The reason it's gonna cost me so much is because I live out of state. Like, well, I came from out of state, so like, that's why it's gonna cost me so much. So I decided to drop out because I did not get in for something I can't control, because I did my part. I did my half. I did everything I could. I took all of the classes. I did all of the extra credit. Like, I got the grades I could. Like, I studied. Like, I did everything I could. So I quit. I dropped out, and now I am currently doing nothing. With that being said, I think dropping out was probably one of the best decisions I could have made. And here's why. I have a heart condition called tricuspid aortic valve syndrome. I was diagnosed as a child, it's not necessarily life-threatening, but it can get to that point where it is life-threatening just because it is a heart condition. From what I understand, is my tricuspid valve in my heart does not work properly. At times it stays open too long, sometimes it doesn't open enough. So sometimes parts of my heart are deprived of blood, sometimes they're flooded with blood. So it can be very hard, it could be very dangerous, it really can. But on September 11th at 11 p.m. I went into the ER. I went in with a heart rate of 131, and if you don't know much about heart rates or anything medical, the average heart rate is between 60 and 100. Even with exercising, most people don't get up to 120. So the fact that I was having a 131 resting heart rate is extremely dangerous, especially for someone who already has a pre-existing heart condition. Well, the reason we noticed was because at 4 o'clock that day, 4 o'clock that afternoon, me and Justin were at my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house. So his biological brother and his wife. They were sitting at their house and they asked us to go run a few errands, so we went and did that, and we stopped to get a snowball while we were in town. And by the way, snowball was phenomenal. Well, I started feeling really sick, nauseous, head spinning, room spinning, the whole 9 yards. So, I just got really sick really quick. And, even she was starting to get concerned. Because, it's just me and my sister-in-law at this point. We left the boys at the house. We went and did all of that. We ran the errands and came back, and I still didn't feel good. So I was texting my mom, and she was like, maybe it's just a blood sugar drop. Eat something sugary, juice or something. And see if you can get your blood sugar up and see how you feel, after that. And I was like, okay, great. I ate the snowball about 4:30, and then come 6, I still feel terrible. I felt terrible. Well, we decided to take a nap. Well, I don't really know what the guys did, but we decided to take a nap, and we woke up about 9, and my watch was going off. It was going crazy. And so I looked at it, and I was like, what's going on? And it was giving me high heart rate alerts. Anyway, it was giving me high heart rate alerts, and it kind of scared me at first because I've never had this problem. And so I was like, what are high heart rate alerts? And they were like, your heart rate has been high, and it gave me a range since 4 o'clock. Resting, when moving, it was 140. I was like, okay, I ain't done no workouts. I ain't done nothing. I've been sitting here doing nothing. What's going on? So I called Justin in there, and I was texting my mom, and I was like, look, this is what it's saying. This is what's going on. What do I do? And my mom was like, maybe it's just your anxiety. I don't really know, dude. I don't really know. I was like, I don't really know either. So I was like, you know what? Let me start researching this. And so I was like, okay, according to the Google, I'm supposed to go in if it gets over 135 for more than 5 minutes, or an hour, I think it was. Or if it's over 100, resting for 2 hours. And I was like, okay, it's been over 120 since 4 o'clock, and it's now 9 o'clock. It's been 5 hours that it hasn't come down. So I told my mom about it. She was like, maybe you need to go to the ER. I was like, no, I'm fine. It ain't that big of a deal. Y'all, and I'm someone who's dramatic. I was like, this ain't nothing. I'm fine. This ain't nothing. Little did I know. Anyway, went to the ER, whole 9 yards. They ended up keeping me for 2 days, I think. I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of the details. Basically, at the end of the day, they think that the diagnosis I was given as a child has either gotten worse or has or it was like the wrong diagnosis. So like, or not the wrong one, but like I've grown out of that original one and now I'm moving to a second one. So they're looking at that. I go here and actually go tomorrow to go see a cardiologist to get them to look at it. We're going to see what's going on again. We'll be put on a heart monitor and we will see what's all going on. But as of right now, it looks like I still may have tricuspid aortic valve syndrome, and I might also have something else. Like when I was there, they were talking about it. They were like, okay, so you might still have it, you might not, we're not real sure. Because like it's kind of hard to do anything if like I'm not hooked up to a monitor. So they were like, we're gonna order you a monitor because we don't have the one for your size in right now. I don't know. Y'all, I ain't a doctor. I ain't a doctor. So I go tomorrow to get a heart monitor. I will be on it for, they said possibly 14 days, maybe longer, maybe less. They're not real sure. It really just depends. But right now I am not allowed to like have a high heart rate. I'm supposed to be chill, like I'm supposed to be relaxed. So when I got released from the hospital, I was all but on bed rest for like 2-3 days. Because like even walking to the bathroom, first off, did y'all know that these are actually pretty accurate? Like I had 4 or 5 EKGs done, I think, and my watch was saying everything the EKG was saying. I do have the Apple Watch Series 8. My heart rate was right. Like everything their machines were saying were like my Apple Watch was saying. So the EKGs, the heart rates, the blood ox, like all of that, like it was lining up. So if you have a heart problem or heart condition and you've been debating getting an Apple Watch because you're not sure how accurate it is, highly recommend. Absolutely recommend. They are a little bit pricey, so it's kind of how I'm justifying it, but like highly recommend. Anyway, I was on bed rest for a couple days just because like my heart rates were getting so high. Like the first day I was out of the hospital, I felt great. Like when we left the hospital, we didn't go home. We didn't go home for like 5-6 hours. I didn't want to go home at all. I was kind of tired of being stuck in 4 walls, so I wanted to go do something. By go do something, we went to Toyota and got the truck serviced. But we did that, and then I think the next day we went up to our hometown and explained everything that was going on to his parents. Just because like I was out of it for those 2 days that I was there. Absolutely out of it. Like when I say I was out of it, like I tried to sign the discharge papers the wrong date, and they were sitting there telling me the date. That was my first episode with my heart ever. Like I never even had an episode as a kid. But we went and told them, so like I was on bed rest for a while. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it kind of worked out best that I kind of dropped out of school, because like I had all of these health concerns come up, and I'm gonna have a lot of doctor's appointments coming up probably. So having the ability and the flexibility to go to these doctor's appointments and pretty much schedule them whenever is kind of great, because like I don't have to worry about exams. No. Like when we went and saw my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law that day, and then I went to the hospital, like we were, like everybody was like, oh, COVID, like she for sure has COVID. When I got all of those test results back saying I did not have COVID, I looked at Justin and cried. Oh, I cried. I was like, I didn't get them sick. I didn't get, like, they didn't get me sick. I didn't get them sick. Like, this is amazing. Like, I felt so bad. I was going to feel so bad. I already felt bad. But I was going to feel absolutely terrible if I had gotten them sick, or if I had gotten any babies that I had been around in the last couple of days. I say babies, like, both sides, like my family and his family, like we've had a bunch of little ones running around between like the ages of like 10 and younger. like all the way down to newborn. Kids are just everywhere for us. So like I was gonna feel really bad if I had gotten all of their kids sick, which I didn't. So thank you Jesus. But like, I remember looking at him crying. Like I did not get their baby sick. Like I was so excited. Like at that point, I didn't really care what was going on with me. Like I didn't really care. Like I knew whatever happens was going to happen to me, but like I could not fathom the idea of what was happening to me could be like contagious, and I could have given it to one of the little ones. Yeah, I couldn't. That was some really good news that I did get, and I was quite excited about it. So now we're just waiting on this doctor's appointment tomorrow to see what they say. I don't know if I'll have any news or not. Like I really just don't know. But like I don't know if I could have even walked across campus. Can you see that? Like I really don't know. I really don't know. Like this heat, if I get hot, oh my heart rate spikes. Like it was to the point like for the first couple of days I couldn't even take a bath. Like it was spiking way too much. Like I still took a bath, but like I had to have somebody in there just to make sure like I wasn't going to pass out. Because that's the thing, like when my heart rate got too high, like I would get dizzy, I would get sick. Like I feel like I'm about to throw up. Like it wasn't pretty at all. So like I was having, I wouldn't say a lot of troubles, but I was definitely not myself for sure. Like it was to the point my family was debating like taking shifts to come and stay with me. Oh, that's another thing. I can't drive right now. Like I can, like don't get me wrong, like I can. But like I can't drive like long distances by myself. Oh, and I just sleep randomly. Like if I get tired, I'm going to sleep. Like I ain't doing this. So I'm hoping with everything that's going on, I can start increasing how often I upload. Like I would love to get to 2 days a week. Not 2 days. I would love to get back to 2 days and then hopefully increase it to 3 days and stay consistent with that. But like at this point, my health has got to come first. With that being said, y'all let me know any video ideas you'd like to see. Like I would love to, and it gives me something to do. Y'all, my best friend went to Texas. It kind of sucks. She's not there for fun. She's there for work. But still. Which hopefully tomorrow, when I go to the doctor, I can get released to drive. Anyway, so I will go to the doctor here in a few days and hopefully have an update for y'all. If not, I will try and give y'all one as best as possible. Anyway, I'm gonna end out the video here. So thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you want to come along for my heart/cardio journey. If you would like for me to start a TikTok, comment down below yes or no, and the content you would like to see, as well as some video ideas for the future. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Lay it down for the night. Tell myself I'm